Welcome back. It's Tuesday morning here on BT Vancouver. Time to talk finances and getting them in order. A lot of people reaching for the credit cards these days. Let's bring in some expert advice. Blair Manton joins us once again, licensed insolvency trustee with Sands & Associates. Good morning and welcome back to BT, sir.
Good morning. Pleasure to be with you.
All right, let's talk credit cards. I recently paid my Visa off. It's such a great feeling. It took years, Blair, and it was like up to like $5,000. So it was a huge stress for me for a while. But first of all, the main thing is you got to make more than the minimum payments every month.
Absolutely, Thor. If folks take nothing else away from the segment this morning, it's really get an understanding that a minimum payment is designed to essentially maximize the time that you're going to be in debt, not to get you out of debt. And it's so different from bank to bank. So if you're sitting down, you've got a card with a major bank, just go to Google and type in X bank, how do they calculate minimum payments? You'll find some banks as little as $10 of what you're paying every month is actually reducing your principal. Some it's 2 or 3% of the balance, but $10 might be all that you're doing to bring down your debt, no matter the size of your minimum payment. And that's going to take a long time, no matter what the size of the debt is.
And I find it's quite clear on the statements. It basically has a little section where it says if you only pay the minimum payment each month, you'll pay this card off. Depending on your debt, it can be like years down the road.
I absolutely love that disclosure, Thor. I think it was so necessary and so overdue when it finally came in. And, you know, one that sticks in my mind is with a store credit card, which are the highest interest rate, typically $6,000 of debt can take 40 years. That's your entire working life to get out of a credit card debt.
I remember years ago, someone had some advice. If you want to put the card down and you just don't want to be tempted to use it, put it in a block of ice, stick it in the freezer, or put it in like a bucket of water, put it in the freezer so you can't actually get to it. It's a good idea to put the card down sometimes, right?
Absolutely, Thor. So the whole idea, if you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you got to do is stop digging. So a lot of folks that I sit down with, they might have a lot of credit card debt, but there's nothing specific that they've bought. There's nothing they can point to that said, okay, here's where all the money went. What happened is they hadn't looked at their budget, and every month the credit cards were just going up, because everything was going on credit. They were making minimum payments. You need to get some clarity in your finances. So put the cards away for a month, roll with cash, pay cash for everything. You're going to find the pain of handing over cash is a lot different than sometimes the pleasure of putting down your card, thinking you're getting loyalty points and all of that. So we definitely recommend it. Take at least a 1 month break, make sure your budget is working, and then you can understand why the credit card debt might be increasing.
And you really need to be aware of the sometimes fluctuating interest rates with these cards. Why is that so important?
Well, it's hugely important in that you can save yourself a lot of money just by having a conversation with your bank, but the bank is usually not going to prompt you for this conversation. So just about every bank offers a low rate card option, and that could take you from 19% down to, 10 to 12% or even lower. But even in this era of COVID with payment deferrals, I haven't seen banks push forward and say, okay, well, let's lower your interest rate. Let's really save you some money. All they're doing is deferring and saying, well, we're going to charge you the same interest, but we'll charge you 3 or 4 months later. So have the conversation with your bank. Focus on the interest rate. Don't focus on the loyalty points. That's a little bit of a misnomer, thinking that you're going to get more value. Definitely focusing on getting the interest rate down is going to be your best bet.
And many Canadians now more than ever are finding themselves in debt. So where can they get help for that?
Absolutely. So, Thor, the best professional they could see is a licensed insolvency trustee. And the reason for that is a licensed insolvency trustee is going to inform you of all of your legal options for dealing with your debts. You can talk to your bank, you can talk to your creditors, and we recommend that, but you don't want to take their advice as gospel because their objectives can be completely different than yours, and they might not be fully informed. So any licensed insolvency and trustee will sit down with you with no judgment and give you a plan to be debt-free.
Beautiful. Sands-trustee.com for more. Blair, as always, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.